Hi, Jurgen.
Hi.
Sorry to add to your headache, but in January it's African Cup of Nations,
I know.
and obviously last season you had to do without much of your defence for a long period of time. How difficult is it going to be to do without your two best attackers for maybe a month, maybe 5 weeks, and that's even without isolation problems? You don't know what the situation is going to be. Throw in Naby Keita as well, and how are you going to deal with that in January? Can you deal with it? Do you know how you're going to deal with it?
That depends on the situation, obviously. In the squad in that moment, it's not ideal. Everybody knows that. Look, there are two things. So, African Cup of Nations. So they have the right to play their cup as well, like Europe, like South America, whatever. That's completely fine. We knew it. We have to deal with it, and we will deal with it. How? We will see in January, because you cannot. Again, people now say, yeah, you have to sign two strikers of the same quality of Sadio and Mo. Yeah, that cannot be the solution, because we cannot do that. So we need to find a solution for that in January.
Okay, thank you. We'll go to Joe Bernstein.
Jurgen, with 2 games coming up in a few days, are we going to maybe get the chance to see Konate or Joe Gomez in one of the games somewhere?
Possibly. 2 games in a few days. We have 7 in the next.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's possible. So we have quite a few games, obviously. So, I said it now 5 million times. We will need all the boys, and of course, they will play.
Yeah, after the Burnley game, I was there, and you said that someone like Virgil van Dijk, it's unrealistic for him to play 2-3 games every week for a prolonged period. You have to protect him a little bit. That's why I asked.
Yeah. So he came back and he looked really good. We have to make these kind of decisions from now on all the time. So we will see. Not done yet. So.
Okay. Thank you, Joe. David Lynch, and then we'll finish with Russell.
Jurgen, you touched briefly on the transfer window earlier. Obviously, I just wanted to ask, obviously, there's a lot of business went on with the teams that are around Liverpool at that end of the table. Were you sort of surprised by how much they were able to do given the pandemic conditions? And did you maybe expect that Liverpool, did you think that possibly Liverpool might do more? Is it just difficult to do it because of those conditions?
Oh, it's really a little bit annoying that I always have to talk about that, because I said it already 5 million times. The only transfer which didn't speak after was Cristiano Ronaldo. About all the other things we spoke before, and no, I'm not surprised that they do it. I was surprised, but it's my personal thing, that Cristiano left Juve, because I didn't know that will happen, and that's it. So. Clubs do business. And when I say, my problem is obviously my English, because from time to time, I obviously annoy some other managers don't want to annoy them. I'm not interested in. Why should I? I say something, I think it's right, and then it is probably right, at least in my mind, and then a few days later I hear the response from somebody, and I think, why is he on his toes? I'm not even, I couldn't care less what other clubs are doing, honestly. So, I'm in a few weeks, in 4, I think, I'm then 6 years here. I signed up for this way when I arrived here. In that time, that we were quite successful. Not the most successful in the world, but quite successful. We won a couple of trophies. Exactly with that way. And it's in all transfer windows, it's the same. And it's always the same that we then get asked, why do you do that, why don't you do that? We thought it makes sense that we sign up our squad in a moment which we have here, and we did that. That is not as spectacular as all the rest around. I cannot change that, because you cannot do a transfer business just to be a circus. But they did it. Other teams signed players, fine, and now we'll play them, and then we will see what we can do.
And Russell, to finish this rather protracted press conference off. Yes, Russell.
Hi, Jurgen.
Hi.
Just wanted to go back to the club versus country. Apologies for doing that.
Fabinho said this week that he regrets being the man in the middle, one of the players in the middle of all this.
Yeah. It's not fair.
Considering the sacrifices that players have gone through during the pandemic, does it frustrate you that they are being used as pawns in a chess game?
That's, just to be clear, that's your view, Russell, that they're pawns in a chess game.
Yes.
I don't. Well, no. I thought actually I answered your question like for 20 minutes. I don't think it's right that in the end the clubs and the players get punished because we were not involved in one of the decisions. There was one decision we had to make together. We couldn't do it alone. If we as Liverpool decide, no, our players don't go, then it's 100% clear that each punishment is right. But all the clubs agreed for the same reason. And the reason was not, we can keep our players at home. The reason was that they would have... had to go in a 10-day quarantine in a hotel nearby the specific airport. We had no other chance to do. Yes, then Aston Villa and Tottenham, I don't know if they decided, the players did themselves, they did something, went there, but it was with, I don't know what exactly the solution is, coming home from South America, going for 10 days to Italy, that they can train there and then come on. That's not a solution. That's just another problem. So somebody in this environment needs to make a decision that we can everybody can live with it. That's how it is. And I think one thing I know what would be possible. I don't know if it's possible, but what would be helpful, obviously, an elite player exemption, what we had already for different competitions in the last 2 years now, and it worked well. And that's it. So what can I say? It's tricky. It was tricky. Our players played the Copa in the summer. How to get them back was already incredibly tricky. We are really let alone in this moment. Nobody tells us really, you can do this, you can do that. We just have always to try to find a solution. In this specific case, there was no solution, no alternative solution for us. I think everybody sees it the same. I don't know why I have now to tell it always again and again.